No, you can't attack. You can't attack. He has only 2 cards in hand.
What is on top of the deck? What is on top?
Come on, man. Flip it.
Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god!
That cost him the game. That cost him the game.
That can cost.
How's it going, everyone? This is Boots with Snapkeep Arcade, and today I want to talk about the huge arena news that Wizards of the Coast just dropped on us. If you haven't heard already, we're getting a massive update on June 7th that will bring full competitive Standard to Magic Arena. Standard is a constructed format using the most recent Magic sets, typically sets from the past 2 years. Up until now, we've been using most of the sets in Standard with the exception of Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. For those of you who didn't play Paper Magic when these sets were released, Kaladesh and Aether Revolt are extremely powerful, arguably too powerful. Not long after they were released, a series of dominant decks and subsequent card bannings made Standard's popularity decline. However, with the most troublesome cards banned, such as Smuggler's Copter, Aetherworks Marvel, and the key cards in energy decks, and with the release of more balanced sets like Ixalan Block and Dominaria, Standard is in a great place. The other missing piece to full Standard has been best of 3 matches with sideboarding. Having a 15-card sideboard to modify your deck between matches is a crucial element to a more well-balanced format. It also adds an incredible amount of depth and strategy to the game. Best of 3 matches and Kaladesh block will both be released June 7th. To help ease us into the format, Wizards is gifting each player 1 copy of each rare and mythic rare, and 2 copies of each uncommon and common in Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. On top of that, we'll also be getting a full playset of each of these 15 cards. This is extremely generous of Wizards and should help ease community complaints about Arena's economy. These 15 cards are staples of Standard and should help you build the most powerful decks in the format. With this change also comes an update to the draft schedule. No longer will drafting be limited to the weekends and will now be available 24/7, with the sets changing each week. Best of 3 is also coming to draft, which will add a lot more depth to your drafting experience. I'm curious to see which formats will be available to draft each week. Will they stick to the same 3 formats we drafted before, or will we be able to draft Kaladesh and Aether Revolt as well? I know there was a lot of people complaining about drafting Rivals of Ixalan compared to Hour of Devastation and Dominaria, so I'm curious to see if the community's reaction to that set affects the schedule in any way. With Best of 3 coming to both Constructed and Limited, there will be new events around these formats. Best of 3 Draft and Constructed events will cost more to enter, but will have better rewards due to the more competitive nature of the format. So keep that in mind before queuing for these events. With this update, Arena starts becoming a more viable option for competitive Standard and Limited players looking to play for a fraction of the cost of Magic Online or Paper Magic. This is great news for Spikes, but what about more casual players? Shortly after the June 7th update, a new casual format is being introduced to Arena. All we know so far is that the format is a Singleton format. The developers did say that it would have its own ban list, but outside of that we don't have any other information such as deck size limitations. A Singleton format is one where decks can only have 1 copy of each card in their deck, with the exception of basic lands. Singleton formats like Commander, Canadian Highlander, or Brawl are favorites in the Magic community and are the primary formats for more casual players. Brawl is the newest Singleton format that Wizards of the Coast has been working hard to grow in popularity. In a brief, incomplete summary, Brawl is a Singleton format where you can only use Standard cards, and each Brawl deck is built around a commander. Commander cards are legendary creatures that can be cast from your command zone and which also determine the colors of your deck. The community has had a positive response to Brawl, especially after some recent changes in the format and the banning of a particularly dominant commander, Baral, Chief of Compliance. I think it's safe to assume that the Singleton format being released to Arena next month is not Brawl, but simply a Singleton format with Standard cards. About 2 months ago, Arena's game director Chris Clay said that there were no current plans to add Brawl to Arena. But since then, there's been a ton of community feedback concerning casual events and alternative uses of cards outside Standard. That being said, I don't think it's unreasonable to see this as paving the way for a legitimate Brawl format in Arena. On the surface, it seems like the biggest hurdle in implementing this format is adding commander support to the game engine. While not wanting to divert developer resources away from standard, draft, and sealed, I don't see Brawl coming to Arena before release. However, I think this new Singleton format is a good sign that we'll be seeing Brawl in the not too distant future. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think I've gotten right or wrong, and make sure to let me know which decks you're excited to start building once Kaladesh block is released next month. If you like this video, please subscribe to Snapkeep Arcade and hit that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. This has been Boots with Snapkeep Arcade. Thanks for watching.